You were born with greatness. Every person has greatness within them regardless of their circumstances. You gotta be hungry. Les Brown, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, future leaders, trailblazers, visionaries, let me tell you something that the world may have made you forget. You were born with greatness. Not will be, not might be, not someday after you earn it. No, you were born with it. It is already in your DNA. The Creator placed inside you a power so profound that even the darkest day can't dim it. Even the harshest critic can't cancel it. But here's the truth. Most people live their whole lives without ever tapping into it. Why? Because society has taught us to look outside for what we already possess within. We've been told you're not smart enough. You're from the wrong neighborhood. You don't have the right background. You're too broken, too poor, too different. But let me educate you on something essential. Circumstances are not sentences. They are settings. You may have grown up in poverty, but poverty is not your identity. You may have faced rejection, but rejection is just redirection. You may have failed, but failure is just feedback. It's not fatal unless you quit. See, your story is not your ceiling, it's your springboard. When I was growing up, people said I was educably mentally retarded. They looked at my limitations and not my potential. But I had a teacher, a mentor, who said, don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality, and I held on to that. Education became my weapon, not just degrees, but learning, growing, transforming. Education is not about passing exams, it's about unlocking destiny. That's what you're doing every time you pick up a book, listen to a podcast, ask a question. You are mining the greatness already within. Let me ask you this. What are you doing with what you've been given? Because the world needs what you have. Yes, you. Not the polished, perfect version of you, but the real, raw, rising version. You've got ideas that could change the world. You've got a story that could inspire nations. You've got a voice that could heal hearts. But it all starts with a choice. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Your job isn't to wait for greatness. Your job is to wake it up. Every obstacle is your opportunity. Every failure is your formation. Every test is your training ground. So don't you dare count yourself out. Don't let your past define your potential. Don't let your background hold your crown. You were born with greatness. So walk like it, speak like it, study like it, live like it. Because someone out there is waiting for you to rise so they know it's possible for them too. And when you step into your greatness, you don't just change your life, you change every life connected to yours. Now go claim what's already inside you. Because you were born with greatness, and it's time the world sees it. You were born with greatness. Every person has greatness within them, regardless of their circumstances. Greatness is not given, it's already within you. So many people go through life thinking they have to earn greatness, as if it's a prize handed out to a chosen few, as if someone somewhere has to grant them permission to be extraordinary. But let me tell you something, greatness is not given, it's already within you. From the moment you entered this world, you came equipped with something powerful, something the world didn't give, and therefore cannot take away. You were born with potential, you were born with purpose, you were born with seeds of greatness planted deep inside you. But here's the catch, seeds don't grow by accident. They grow when they are nurtured. They grow when the environment supports them. And most importantly, they grow when you believe in what's already there. Greatness is not about being perfect. It's not about being famous, rich, or even highly educated in the traditional sense. It's about recognizing what's within you and being bold enough to bring it out. It's in your resilience. It's in your creativity. It's in the way you rise after you've been knocked down. It's in your ability to dream bigger than your circumstances. But society has done a masterful job at convincing people that greatness is only for the elite, the athletes, the entertainers, the top 1%. That is a lie. Greatness is not exclusive. It is intrinsic. You don't need to find it in a classroom or earn it with accolades. You need to uncover it by choosing growth, effort, and faith in your value. Think about this. A diamond doesn't look like much when it's pulled from the earth, but it's still a diamond. The value was always there. It just needed to be cut, refined, and revealed. That's you. You don't need approval to activate your greatness. You don't need a spotlight to validate it. You just need a willingness to dig deep, to believe in your own worth, and to do the work of becoming who you were always meant to be. Because you weren't born ordinary. You were born ready. You were born worthy. You were born great. Now it's time to live like it. Circumstances do not define potential. Let me tell you something powerful. Where you start does not determine where you finish. We live in a world that often tries to box people in based on where they're from, the color of their skin, the size of their bank account, or the pain in their past. But here's the truth. Your circumstances may shape your early path, but they can never dictate your final destination unless you let them. I know people who were born into chaos, poverty, addiction, violence, and still rose to greatness because they refused to accept the lie that their environment was their identity. Maybe you've been told you'll never make it out of this place, or no one in your family ever did anything great. But the beautiful thing about potential is that it's not inherited, it's discovered. And it doesn't matter where you start. What matters is how you respond. See, your surroundings may be your classroom, but they are not your conclusion. Yes, the odds may be stacked against you. Yes, it's harder when you don't have support, when the resources aren't there, when you feel like you're walking uphill with the wind in your face. But understand, the size of your struggle is often the measure of your strength. Some of the greatest leaders, innovators, and change makers didn't come from privilege. They came from pressure, and pressure produces diamonds. It's easy to believe that your future is limited when your present feels like a prison. But don't mistake your current chapter for your whole story. You are not where you came from. You are who you choose to become. Think of the seed that grows through concrete. No sunlight, no water, just pressure and perseverance. And still it breaks through. That's what's inside you. Greatness doesn't need perfect conditions to rise. It just needs belief, work, and time. So if you're in a tough place right now, don't count yourself out. Use it. Grow through it. Let it build you. Because the truth is, the same fire that burns can also forge. And the harder your beginning, the more powerful your testimony. Circumstances do not define potential. You do. Education is the catalyst for unleashing greatness. Education is not just about books, grades, or degrees. It is the ignition switch for your inner greatness. It's the light that reveals what you're truly capable of. When you commit to learning, you're not just filling your mind with facts. You're awakening your power, your purpose, your potential. Far too often, we underestimate the role education plays in changing the narrative of our lives. Society has conditioned us to believe that some people are born to succeed and others are destined to struggle. But let me tell you something. Education breaks that myth. When you learn, you rise. When you study, you strengthen. When you grow, you go beyond the limitations placed upon you by others, by your environment, or even by your past self. Education is not confined to a classroom. It is a mindset. It's in every podcast you listen to, every mentor you ask questions of, every time you open a book instead of scrolling through your phone. When you choose to educate yourself, you are choosing to evolve. You are training your mind to think differently, to problem solve, to innovate, to lead. Think about it. How many lives have been transformed simply because someone dared to learn something new? From the child who learned to read against all odds, to the entrepreneur who studied the failures of others and built an empire. Education was the turning point, and it can be the same for you. Greatness doesn't come from comfort zones. It comes from a fire within that says, I want more, I want to be more, I want to do more. That fire is fed by knowledge. That fire is kept alive by curiosity, discipline, and vision. Education opens your eyes to what's possible. It helps you see beyond the problems into solutions. It teaches you how to use your pain as a platform, your trials as training, and your setbacks as setups for success. So never stop learning, never stop growing, because every time you learn, you step closer to the version of yourself the world is waiting to see. Education is the catalyst. You are the power. Greatness is the outcome. The world needs what you have. There is something powerful, something sacred about knowing that your life matters, not in a vague abstract sense, but in a real, tangible, life-shifting way. The world needs what you have. Yes, you, your voice, your story, your journey, your scars, your wisdom, your ideas. There will never be another you. Let that sink in. Out of over 8 billion people walking this earth, no one else has your exact combination of perspective, pain, passion, and potential. You are a once-in-history event. That means you're not here by accident. You're not a mistake. You're a solution. Someone is waiting for your words to lift them. Someone is waiting for your invention to free them. Someone is waiting for your leadership to guide them. Someone is waiting for your art to move them. Someone is waiting for your example to believe that they can rise too. But here's the challenge. Too many people bury their brilliance because they're comparing it to someone else's. They look at what they don't have instead of recognizing what they do. You don't need to be the loudest voice. You just need to use your voice. You don't need 1 million followers, just the courage to lead where you stand. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Understand this. What's ordinary to you is extraordinary to someone else. You might think your skills, your experiences, your insights are nothing special, but to someone walking through what you've overcome, They are life-saving. And here's the deeper truth. If you don't show up in your full power, the world is missing something vital. When you shrink, something stays stuck. When you stay silent, someone stays struggling. But when you rise, others rise with you. You weren't just born to take up space. You were born to shift space. So own your uniqueness, sharpen your gifts, speak your truth, because the world doesn't just want what you have. It needs it. And when you stop holding back and start stepping up, that's when greatness starts to multiply. Not just in you, but in everyone your life touches. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So many people stand on the edge of their dreams, not because they lack ability, but because they believe they need to be perfect before they take the first step. But I'm here to tell you something that can change your life. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert once stumbled. Every leader once doubted themselves. What separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't isn't talent, it's action. You may have ideas, goals, dreams burning inside you, but if you never act on them, they stay buried potential. And potential without action is like a seed never planted. It doesn't grow, it doesn't feed, it doesn't flourish. Action turns potential into power. Don't wait for the perfect time. It will never come. Don't wait until you feel ready. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from movement. It comes from the first chapter you write, the first video you record, the first application you submit. Even if your hands are shaking, the myth of needing to be good enough before beginning has paralyzed too many people. Let me remind you, your greatness is not measured by your starting point. It's measured by your progress. And progress only comes from motion. Think about it. A staircase doesn't ask you to leap to the top. It just asks you to take the first step. Maybe today that first step is enrolling in a class, sending an email, starting a journal, showing up to the gym, opening that business idea notebook again. And yes, it might be messy. You'll make mistakes. But greatness is refined through failure, not ruined by it. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. And keep showing up. Because every small step forward unlocks a transformation you never imagined. Those baby steps turn into bold strides. One day you look back and realize you're walking in your purpose. Start now. Start scared. Start imperfect. But start. Your greatness isn't waiting for perfection. It's waiting for you to move. Rise in the face of resistance. Adversity doesn't mean you're losing. It often means you're leveling up. Diamonds are made under pressure. Let me tell you something that will shift your perspective. Resistance is not a sign of weakness. It's often a sign that growth is near. The moment you start moving towards something meaningful, something that stretches you, something that calls you higher, you will meet resistance. That's not failure. That's confirmation. Think of a seed breaking through the soil. It has to push through dirt, darkness, pressure, and it does so blindly. But if that seed doesn't face that resistance, it never becomes the tree it was destined to be. In the same way, when you face adversity, whether it's financial struggles, academic setbacks, rejection, or inner doubt, it's not there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. Pressure produces power. Friction forges strength. Diamonds are made under pressure, not in comfort. You've got to stop looking at obstacles as roadblocks. They are proving grounds. Every challenge is a mirror asking you, how bad do you want this? See, too many people fold when resistance shows up. They assume hardship means it's not meant to be. No, that's when you double down. That's when you say, I'm not backing down. I'm built for this. Understand this. You are not a victim of resistance. You are a vessel being refined by it. Your dream may cost you some tears. It may cost you some late nights, some lonely roads, some misunderstood moments. But that's the price of greatness. You don't grow in easy seasons. You grow in the struggle. That's when character is built. That's when resilience is forged. That's when faith gets muscle. The fire you face is the fire that fuels your future. Rise in it. Don't retreat from it. Because every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit, you level up. You're not losing. You're becoming someone stronger, wiser, more capable. So the next time adversity knocks on your door, don't curse it. Embrace it. Rise in it. Speak to it. Outlast it. Because the pressure that's on you now is nothing compared to the power that will come out of you next. Rise, because you were born for this.